Welcome back to Marcella Family Farm. Today we're going to do a quick video on how to plant garlic in the fall. So depending on where you are, we're in zone 6B. Right now is the time to plant your garlic. The first 2 weeks of October. You can plant even as late into November, but we usually have better luck with better bulb size and better yields when we plant now. So what we've already done here, if you take a look, is we've already worked the soil. In order to limit the amount of weeds, we took the bucket on the tractor and cleared the land to eliminate weed seed from dropping onto the soil. We then cultivated it with a rototiller on the back of this John Deere 3035D here. And we then took wood ash, which we actually burn ourselves. The key to that is the nutritional breakdown of wood ash is 012. Old farmers used to call it potash, and it's really good at root growth, and it's really good for fruit trees or anything that yields fruit with flowers. But it's also really good for anything that needs root growth. So we use that on our first 3 rows here, and then we put it on kind of liberally, worked it into the soil. When we ran out of that, we purchased organic bone meal. And we work that in. It's a lot higher nutrients. We might get a bigger yield and a bigger crop from that. But we've had good luck with the wood ash as well. The bone meal is 4-12-0. So there's some nitrogen in that. In the spring, we will supplement with some blood meal to get those scapes growing and help promote bulb growth. And we'll stop once those scapes come up. So some of the keys to getting really good yields and good garlic is making sure you have good seed stock. Usually your best move is to buy it locally from someone in the area. You can see here, this is called Georgia Fire. It's almost the size of my palm. I kind of got bulky hands here, so don't let that make you think this is a small head of garlic. This is a big head of garlic here. And getting good seed stock that's disease-free is really important. What we do, because we plant so much of it, we're probably going to plant about 500 pounds of different kinds of garlic, is we'll break it up inside. We try to do it during our free time at night when we run out of daylight here. And we'll break up these bulbs, so when it comes time to plant, we just have to drop them in. One of the things you want to make sure you do when you're planting garlic is to plant it upright like this. You don't want to rip too many of the papers off. You don't want to show too much of the clove. You know, even if you got a little bit of the old root on there, that's fine. But you're going to want to plant the root side down, just like a tulip bulb or any kind of flowering bulb that you would plant, and the little pointy end up. If you don't plant it that way, you're going to really affect your yields. So it's really important you do this. That's why most people usually plant garlic by hand. So the thing is, you got good seed stock. You worked your soil really well. You put organic matter in there. We also use chicken compost. We just haven't gotten to that point here. We will do that later on this growing season for garlic, but we're using the other things we have right now. The soil's worked really well. You want to make sure that you have a rake. You want to make sure you have labels. So you see here, we got our first row pre-labeled just for the purposes of the video. This is Georgian Fire. And we label both sides of the row. They say you want your rows 18 inches apart, and each bulb planted 6 inches apart. So we do follow the 6-inch apart. We actually only go 12 inches apart here. So you can see here, we already pre-popped these holes in the ground, and having a nice rake with a big handle like this comes in handy, because you kind of just come along and pop your holes, like this. And, we're not actually measuring this, but this is about 6.5 inches right here, and this is about 7 or 8 inches this way. So I'm sorry, this is about 12 inches from here to here. This is about 7 to 8 inches this way. You do want to give them some space to grow, but we found you don't actually have to go 18 inches across. So we try to work a bed. Our tiller's 60 inches across, so we go 4 rows across, and we'll work our way down here till we run out of this type of seed garlic, and then we'll put our next labels in. Once you're done doing that, what you're going to want to do is get straw. You're going to want to take that straw and you're going to want to mulch really heavily. We've tried doing it with wood chips. It kind of robs the nitrogen from the soil a little bit more than the straw does, so we prefer using straw. And you want to put a nice, real thick, 4 or 5 inch layer of straw down to prevent weed growth. And just for an example here, we'll plant a quick row of these garlic bulbs. We like to plant different kinds of garlic because we like all the different flavors and different things that you get from them. So you just kind of pop them in here. And what I'll do is I'll work this side, then I'll come around to the other side and work those holes there. And we'll kind of use this as our barrier for where we start our next row. And you're planting about, knuckle deep, so 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. You don't have to bury them too far. You do want to make sure that they are buried though. This is our first year where we actually had a tractor to do this. We have been doing this by hand tilling. We just have a lot going on. We have a kid on the way. We just don't have the time to farm that way anymore. So in order to keep growing what we want, we got a tractor with a rototiller, and this is how we're going to be doing this moving forward. You see, make sure you don't miss any holes. It doesn't take too long to do here. You can see here we got a couple rows, and just for purposes, you take your rake that you have, and you just come over nice and easy. Nice and easy, and just cover up those bulbs. Now garlic does grow pretty good, and you don't really have to fertilize or compost, but if you want good sized bulbs, I really recommend that you do. Another nice thing about garlic is you can grow it in the same beds, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row. We try to rotate a little more often than that, but it is something you can do. They're pretty disease resistant. You see there, so you have a nice little row, and like I said, we don't have our straw yet. We'll be picking that up later this week. We're gonna put a real nice layer of straw down, and basically you just let it go for the winter. When the spring hits, you can come out, you can put some chicken compost down, you can put whatever type of organic or non-organic fertilizer you want to put down. It'll really help it. You'll see these nice little scapes in the winter. It's a nice sign the spring's coming. Once you see that, then you can fertilize, and then you want to make sure you keep the weeds down. Using a heavy straw mulch really helps keep those weeds down. You don't want your garlic to have competition. It will grow through the weeds, but anything you can do to help it will get you those nice big bulbs. If you have any questions or anything on what we're doing here, we can always answer questions or do another follow-up video on this. And we'll definitely do an update in the spring, and we'll try to do a video of how we mulch this. It's really basic, but when you're new at things, it's understandable that you want to see it done once or twice. So we'll do a quick video on mulching your garlic, and we'll do a quick video on fertilizing in the spring. And the next thing you're going to want to do is, we already have a video up that we could try to link to this video about breaking the scapes as they come up. So when the scapes come up, they end up flowering. They take a lot of energy away from the bulbing of the garlic. So it's real important that you break that scape off. It's really good to make pesto out of. It's good to cut up and put in a stir fry or salad. But getting those scapes off are pretty important in growing a good sized bulb. Like I said, we grow a lot of different varieties. We grow Georgian Fire, we grow Georgian Crystal, German White, Turkish Red, Dagonski, Persian Star, Music, which is really prolific. It's got really good flavor. It's kind of like a German White, which is pretty common in our area, except it's got a lot more flavor. We do the German Reds. We do some of your baking garlics, like Purple Glazer, which is known as a really good baking garlic. This year, for the first time, we're growing something called Bogatyr, which is supposed to be known as the hottest garlic. So we'll have that growing. And the list goes on. We have a Facebook page that will end up listing everything we have, and we take pre-orders on. We actually sold with this whole pandemic, we sold out of garlic extremely quick, and hopefully next year we have more to sell. We did keep more because we just purchased this property where we can grow a little bit more than we used to. So hopefully we'll be taking pre-orders on this stuff soon. Hopefully we can sell some seed stock, and everything that we grow on our farm is 100% organic. We do not use any chemicals. We don't use any sprays, and you know, no Roundup, no glyphosate, which is, you know, known to cause cancer and things like that. So if you'd like to learn how we do other things and how we garden organically with other stuff and how we use our chickens in that, please subscribe, please follow along. We really appreciate you watching. Thank you.